I'm kind of in an awkward position for this, but the water flows here, underneath there, and then through there. Well, howdy, howdy, howdy. Nearly senior citizen here. Greetings, boys, girls, and all of our non-binary friends, and welcome to this, a brand new day. And remember, no matter who you are valid. Thumbs up, and indeed, welcome to a brand new day. And remember, I talk with my hands. It doesn't mean anything other than I use my hands to emote with. So, thumbs up for that. I had this morning a long but pleasant talk with an on-site counselor who is has been only here like 1 day a week and only fairly recently, but now is here twice a week, but is a lot of waiting around for people to come in and need to talk. He was just out looking at the garden that was recently put in. I happened to be in the area, so I went up and started to talk because I'm a part of the community here. I need to be a part. I try to, as much as I don't like interacting with human beings because of my social anxieties and anxieties in general, I am a human being, and being a hermit is not healthy. So I force myself out in interacting with people periodically, which is one of the reasons that these days I go walkies during the daytime, precisely because there are people out there, because I have to interact. So I was out and I talked with this individual, and we had a nice talk. We occasionally would veer towards identifying, politics or religion, and then veer away from that, concentrating on not specifics, but just generalities. And then science fiction, talked about that for a while. So, good stuff. And it was nice. So, that was good. And it is a colder day today. It's been sunny and it's been overcast. It's going to be a mixture of both through the whole day. It's been warm, where I would have only gone out with this, but it's also been chilly, so I'm wearing this. And this is, I wear overshirts, long sleeve shirts, as quote-unquote jackets. I need to get a little bit of tissue because denture cream, these are not natural teeth, so they will, the stuff melts and then gets mixed in with your saliva, so you get sticky, drippy saliva, and yay. What was I talking about? Oh yes, overshirts. I wear overshirts as coats, and so this is an overshirt that there's a donation table where individuals will sometimes make donations of clothing, such like that. And there were some shirts, and this was a nice shirt that fit me. And I also read like this one. This is a shirt that I picked up off the donation table. Used, but most of my stuff has been used most of my life. I've used hand-me-downs, even as an adult, up into and in my mid-50s. So I don't mind that. They're nice shirts, and this is a nice thing to use as a jacket for slightly cold days. So thumbs up for that. Yeah, it's a day and things are good. And I made that mental flip in my head a few days before my appointment, talking about all the issues and questions I've had about my cardiac stuff. I'd had a flick in my head where I'd gone from, oh gosh, I'm knocked back on my heels, not sure how I feel about this, to click, oh, well, it doesn't matter if I've been knocked back on my heels. I've always just gotten up, brushed off the dust and blood and dirt, and then kept on walking. And that changed everything in my head, and everything's been back up onto an uphill climb. And then going to the appointment and finding out I'm doing this stuff that is good, because yeah, when I read that the morbidity on silent heart attacks is the same as the morbidity for loud heart attacks. 50% of people die within 10 years. And he was like, that is true. Yes. But as long as you're doing the things that you should, you're doing a good job of making sure you're on the top 50 instead of the buried 50. So good on that. Plus, when we get to the cardiologist and they take a look at the EKGs, and they're going to do, like I would imagine, an EKG at the time there to take a look, it may be that the one interpretation of the one thing at that time may not have been a myocardial infarction in the past. Or it could verify that indeed it was. But we'll find out. But I'm still going to keep daily exercising, and I'm going to continue maintaining my blood pressure, and I'm going to continue taking that aspirin. I got to get up to Walmart and pick up that statin so that my cholesterol will be under better control. I'm still going to continue taking garlic tablets. So thumbs up on that. Yay! And hopefully you are healthy as well. I'm just talking about my healthy because I'm the one, my health because I'm the one that's vlogging. So yay on that. And I hope that if you like watching these things, that you watched my desolate playthrough last night, that I posted it. It's a fun little card game. It plays excuse me. It plays a lot faster than the other same rough type of mechanism type of games that he's had, where it's both faster and slower. Faster because you can die so easily. You gotta keep your oxygen up, and you've only got a tiny little range of oxygen. You've only got like 4 little boxes of oxygen you have to track, and every time good darn this morning, each time you go to this one deck, you lose 2 oxygen. So you gotta hopefully pick up oxygen through the cards you're revealing. And it's got the game has what I feel is an awesome, again, the randomness that's in this game just from cards. The guy that does it, Jason Glover, Grey Gnome Games, amazing. Because again, you have aliens that you will be fighting. But when you come up with an alien, it says conflict, and it's got a little die on it, you know, 1 through 6. But then you flip over a conflict card, and that random conflict card has 2 boxes, one with a number in it. At random there, the one you draw, you're going to put a black die on that at that number. And then you check your card, and then you put the second black die up there. That's its hit points. Which 2 cards you get determines how strong the alien is that you're fighting. That's an amazing amount of randomness right there. So you fight the creature, and then if you get treasure, you have to draw another exploration card, but flip it over, and at the bottom is some treasure that you pick up. Sometimes oxygen, sometimes healing, sometimes ammunition. So it's at random what you draw, what you're going to get. And even further, if you only get a small treasure, well, there are 2 of them shown, you got to choose which one you get. And oh boy, you need oxygen. I passed on one opportunity to get oxygen, and I picked up ammunition, and that was a bad decision, because I ran out of cards and had to subtract that 2 oxygen, and I was gone. So it ends pretty quickly, but it also has the possibility of going much longer, because on his other games like this, you go through a set number of levels, and then you're done with that level, and then you go on to the next one. So it's a set number. On this one, you're trying to pick up 5 energy cells, but you can only pick them up in certain cards. Every turn, you draw 2 cards, and you only play one of them. And one of those cards that you discard might be the room that has that power cell. So you might go through the entire deck, not get a power cell, lose 2 oxygen. Now you got to keep going. So you could end up with bad card play with no power cells, and the alien slowly whittling you down. So thumbs up. Anyway, that's enough of me just raving over the thing. So it's just good. Yay. Plus, the only other thing I got written down is something about my solo RPG stuff. So I'm going to talk about the rest of the world and life, you know, if there's anything for me to talk about. Because yesterday, of course, I had staying awake problems. It's still a little certain, my blood pressure medication, I feel, because when I was taking it at a different time, what's happening to me now was happening at different times. So when I altered it, it got pushed, and it's happening in those trouble time zones. So, but I need the blood pressure med, so gotta struggle through it. But been having that to deal with, which means I don't get a lot of done. But I have been playing Fallout 3 still. I am not going to record any of Fallout 3, at least on this run, with this character, because this character, while there's different motivations, you know, and it's a different story entirely, is roughly the same character there in that same skill set. And that the idea is evade all of the gunfire so I can get up close, and when I can, ba-boom. Because I kept still running up against death claws in that game last night. And my character, while she has to pop a lot of chems real fast, she can one-to-one a death claw and win. And if you don't know the game, a death claw is like a cross between like a gecko and something else, but they're big and they've got gigantic claws and they're lizards, and they live up to the whole death claw thing, and when they hit like a Mack truck. So you want to take these things down before you get destroyed. Normally, you'd get like one or two, well, by the time you're at the level I am, about 2 or 3 smacks with something. I can usually get 4. I have to pop a bunch of chems in there so that I can get 5. And even then, after I do that, that's only whittled it down, so I have to get up close and then hopefully evade the claws for the 1 or 2 shots to get and finally take it down. The one place I was at, oh my god, my character would just have time to stand up, take some health stuff, and then there would be another, the combat music starts up, the red dot shows up, I turn to look at it, and the death claw's already leaping. I hit like 7 or 8 of these things in a row. Still won, but oh my god. And you have to imagine what any one person would have to be like if you're so hopped up on what they have to call chems, but you know, you inject them or you inhale them. They are chemicals, all right. How hopped up you have to be with even a power glove to go head to head with a death claw as a human being, a 5'4", 110 pound when soaking wet human being, and win 7 times in a row. So it's been fun. I have enjoyed it. It's been absolute Squirrel all the way through it. Again, there's quests, but every time I'm going off on a quest, it's just, oh, and if something's interesting, the quest line is pushed into the background. At the same time, I had mentioned that the character in Fallout 3 has learned that, you know, the vault taught her that life was cheap. In the end, they were trying to tell her life meant something, but in reality, it taught her that life was cheap. And then the wasteland taught her that cheap, you don't know cheap. Human life is worth less than the dirt you walk on. But she has gotten a whole set of morals and ethics where if you're even halfway innocent, she will work and fight for you. So she's got a situation where one of the quests was the bad guy, well, the bad guy, I believe it's a bad guy, the guy in question sent me out to kill 3 people. I went to find one of them and found that it wasn't him. That was his son, who had nothing to do with this, that I was supposed to kill. So at that moment, the whole quest line changed. I don't care what on earth is going on with this guy. I want to find out what's happening. So I've checked out the other 2 people and locations, and I'm not going to be killing anybody until I find out what's happening. Problem is, because I questioned stuff and talked to a few other people, another location opened up. Where the truth is, I believe. Problem is, you need a key to get in there. And the keys, of course, are on one of those 3 people you're supposed to kill. Now, the guy said he wanted you to do headshots. Had to be a sniper. You had to get him with a headshot. And I think it was because he didn't want you to talk to him. So I'm trying to get my sneak up high enough that I can pickpocket, that's the word I was looking for, pickpocket one of the keys to go get that information and find out what's going on. She's not just a killer. Human life is cheap. But she doesn't want to waste it if it doesn't need to be wasted. So that's going on in that story. I still have to do and record the Fallout 3, which hopefully I'm going to be able to do tonight or some such. It all depends on how many spoons I have at the end of the day. So thumbs up on that. Now I'm going to go into the whole solo RPG thing. Another bit of information that will it ever impact me as a solo RPG player? Probably not. Is it something that I should actually put into like a setting and book for the whole world? Probably, because I've been thinking about a whole bunch of this part. But this one was ship captains and sea culture. For whatever reason, I started thinking about a ship captain who's a hob, a hobani, one of the hobani hulat. And it turned into, he's an individual that was born on the sea. His parents were both ship people, and he was born on a boat, a sea. And he has lived the sea. He is a captain of one of the West Adania merchant group ships, and he plans on dying at sea. And the thought was, the big thing that became a whole thoughts of culture stuff was, he is not a believer. He has no real spiritual beliefs. But every time when they're traveling through, there's some kind of temple to a local water god, they stop. And he will provide a little bit of time for worship, resources for sacrifice, and a little gold for tribute. Because even though he's not a believer, he's in charge of a whole lot of lives and a whole lot of ships and a whole lot of goods. And he would be remiss as a captain. He would be remiss as someone in charge of all of these lives if there was even a 1/10 of 1% of a chance that by not doing that, one of his ships could sink. All those lives lost. No. He may not believe, but it is well worth his time to spend a little bit for worship, a little bit of resources for sacrifice, and a little gold for tribute. If it helps keep his ships afloat, if it helps keep his crew alive, if it helps keep his goods safe for port, he's going to do it. He's going to do it gladly. So there's a bit of seed culture that I've been thinking of, because remember, on this world, they have not had the evolutionary cultures, not just physical and all that, but the mental and the sociological and the ecological and the economic pressures that have developed through times. Their lives are completely different. Not so far that we can't relate, but they don't have the same religions or thoughts of religions or way that they treat each other because of, their religions the way we have in ours. So thumbs up. Past that, I am going to try and do some stuff today. We're coming up on 11:30. Get this done, uploaded, get out on walkies, purchase the food-like items that I need, and all that will be good. Hopefully your day will be good. That will be a definite thumbs up. If you're a Patreon patron, thumbs up and thank you. It is appreciated. You are beautiful and awesome people. And when I can, I will have your names back up here. If I can, and I don't know if I have the spoons, but I'll find out when I get to editing. If I can, I'll be reading off 10 names now. And if not, I just posed like that for no good reason at all, which means that I didn't have the spoons, just the energy to be able to do it. And both physical and mental energy, different reservoirs, unfortunately. But you are beautiful and awesome people, and when I can, I will have you all up here properly the way you should be. For everybody that leaves me a comment, greatly appreciated, and definitely appreciated. I love interacting, and it bothers me a lot that I can't interact as much as I would like because of this, and because of my executive function and dysfunction issues. So just remember though, it is appreciated when you comment. Yeah, when you comment, very, very much. Even if I can't respond, it is nice to read, and I do appreciate it very, very much. So thumbs up and thank you. So I'm going to get this edited, rendered, uploaded. I am going to go out and get some walkies. I am going to attempt to get some more recording done. And who knows? I mean, I hadn't planned on doing Desolate last night, so maybe there's another thing like Desolate that'll suddenly crop up along with all the things that I would like to get done. So who knows, and we shall see. So until we meet again, you take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side, and that is indeed a very good thing. Nothing really clever to say at the end this time. Nothing depressing or really uplifting. I guess just a neutral.